Thank you. Good morning and good soul. My name is Adrian Solorzano. I'm originally from Venezuela. I now live in Florida, US. Today marks my first venture into a project of this type, as my background is primarily in business rather than in the hard sciences or engineering. Despite this, my passion for space exploration drives me, and I am excited to contribute to the advancements of this field. I will be presenting the health facility. Here we will call it the Hippocrates Center, our simulated health facility, named after Hippocrates, the esteemed Greek physician widely regarded as the father of modern medicine. This 166th mission is dedicated to Alan Shepard, commemorating his monumental contributions to space travel and exploration. So the presentation is divided into 17 parts. First is the internal design. So this design should optimize space usage while accommodating all necessary medical facilities, considering the modular rooms with multifunctional equipment to maximize the efficiency. Then we have the machines technologies necessary. This is advanced diagnostics tools that are easy to maintain. Also the telemedicine capabilities, consulting with earth-based experts, and portable health monitoring devices for status checks for astronauts. Third is the possible resources. This is on-site production of pharmaceuticals using bioprinting technologies, then utilizing local Martian materials for constructing expandable habitat modules if possible, and the transport of critical supplies from Earth. Fourth is organizational structure, hierarchical medical staff, structured by and led by me, our chief medical officer, integration of roles, also such as surgeons, practitioners, even psychiatrists. Five, the positions, profiles, and duties of the medical officers, specializing in space health, radiologists, emergency medics, for example, could be implemented, routine health checks, continuous training, and this follows up with the astronaut training program. So training on handling medical emergencies independently, regular physical mental checks. Seven would be videos to train astronauts. So these are the step-by-step medical procedures under microgravity conditions, the use of medical technology available on Mars, stress and mental health workshops, resources needed for 1 week. So this goes into the food, water, medical supplies per person, backup supplies, and even pharmaceutical supplies to handle maybe injuries or conditions that are chronic. There's the guidelines, number 9, to other facilities, entire station. So regular updates on health protocols too, new findings when it comes to medical, coordination protocols for medical emergencies, sharing of medical resources. And on this next slide would be the second half. So number 10 would be specific protocols, routines for the facility. Again, very important with the monitoring, daily routines for astronauts, their health vitals, psychological checks, regular maintenance. Number 11 would be protocols of safety. This would go into emergency response protocols for medical crises, safety checks for medical equipment. Number 12, protocol for occupancy entertainment. So guidance for personal communal spaces to support psychological health and activities, resources for recreational leisure. This is to prevent isolation and depression. And there could be, and also high dosages of the Timberly exercises to maintain morale and cooperative work environment. 13. So these are protocols for food microproduction, implementation of hydroponic and aeroponic systems for nutrient-rich fresh food production, safety checks, rotation and schedule for crop cultivation. This is to have fresh produce. 14. So these are protocols for 3D printing, the utilization of biodegradable plastics, for example, protocols for sterilization and use of 3D printed items. 15, these are technologies outputs that could be applied on Earth. So, for example, telemedicine techniques developed for Mars could enhance remote medical care. Advanced and compact efficient equipment could benefit emergency response teams. And 16, guidelines to be applied to daily life on Earth. techniques in psychological health maintenance. Then there would be fitness routines adapted for confined spaces, could benefit urban populations, water and resource conservation methods. This could be for practicing sustainable living. And last but not least, the impacts to sustainable development goals. So this could also be implemented for promoting good health and well-being, ensuring sustainable consumption, production patterns, and fostering innovation and infrastructure. So here, this is the entire base. And on the bottom left, we have the health facility. It is connected by the greenhouse and station. So the importance of the health facility in remote environments like Mars, immediate access to medical care is super important. So the health facility serves as the primary location for treating injuries, performing routine checks, addressing any medical emergencies that arise. Its role is amplified due to the distance from Earth and the inability to quickly access traditional medical services. The isolation and unique stresses of living on Mars necessitates support for psychological health. The psychological health is one of the main components why we do these simulations. The health facility likely includes and will include the mental health care, such as counseling, types of therapies designed for managing psychological burdens, especially for these long duration missions. Given unknown the effects of Mars's lower gravity and human physiology, continuous health monitoring is super important, especially here for research. So the health facility would be better equipped to study these effects and develop better life support and medical protocols, especially for a creation for future Martian colonies. We also have the connection to the greenhouse. So the greenhouse uh, produces fresh food, which is crucial, especially for nutritional support, overall health, and direct gases to ensure the dietary needs are closely integrated with the healthcare plan and adjusted as medical assessments dictate. So beyond nutrition, interaction with plant life and the greenhouse environment thus offer psychological benefits, helping to alleviate the stress and improve the mental health of the inhabitants there. Connection to the main station. So the main station is the operational heart of the habitat where critical decisions and coordination occur. Proximity allows for rapid medical response and integration of healthcare with other station functions. Being connected to the main station also ensures that the health facility has priority access to resources like power, water, emergency support, which are most likely from the main station. So the health facility's role extends beyond treating illnesses. It is integral to the overall well-being and operation of the stability of the colony. So its connection to the greenhouse and main station are strategic, ensuring that the healthcare is very integrated within the food colonies, food supply, and central operations. So the main purpose is more for safeguarding the physical and psychological health of all residents during the time. So all facilities presents a circumference with shape of 8 meters diameter and 3 floor levels. So this is more of an artistic rendition that I created with Dali, and also to give it more of a feel or a look of what I was trying to aim for. The internal design of the facility here, as presented, it is 3 floors, each with a height of 3 meters. While the slide does provide an artistic representation, as mentioned, to capture the essence of the facility's structure and atmosphere, the practical design elements are incorporated for efficient use of space. So the top ceiling ideally would be transparent with a material that is strong enough to withstand Martian atmosphere, for example, radiation. So this innovative feature would not only maximize more of a natural light feeling or natural light, the aim of it, but also enhance the sense of space and not feel too confined, making it more functional and also aesthetically pleasing for the habitants there. Ideally, with better budget, the parts of the walls would also be transparent to help the mental health of the astronauts to not feel so enclosed as if it was a prison. So here, the first floor would be converted in having a horizontal running circular wall. Notes that the floor one is bigger due to excavating the floor underneath to make it even steeper. So the usage of the grounding to make it taller, using all as much space as possible. This is to countermeasure hypertrophy, bone demineralization, cardiorespiratory, and neural conditioning. And this also includes special weight vests to compensate for the gravity difference. So this idea from the slide is inspired by the Royal Society Publishing article. Here in the left images. Here, so the facility design, incorporating a large diameter cylindrical track within the Mars Health Center, allows for high-speed running. This track would be designed to support the creation of artificial gravity through a central pedal force, or as they call it in the experiment, a wall of death. The exercise equipment equip the facility with bungee jumping bands or similar uploading systems that can simulate like a lunar or Martian gravity by upsetting a significant percentage of the astronaut's body. Since most likely or probably there would be times when we would go to the moon and then to Mars. This would simulate several parts of the lunar portion, but the training regimen, though this is more of a developing exercise that's daily. When astronauts run at speeds around like 5.4 to 6.5 meters per second for several laps, this intensity should generate enough centrifugal force to simulate higher gravity, aiming to match or exceeds peak forces during foot contact that are known beneficial for bone and muscular health on Earth. The health monitoring is always important. So implementing a monitoring of the astronauts' physical responses to the training, including muscle mass, bone density, cardiovascular health. So the adjustment of intensity and speed and frequency of the exercises based on real-time data to optimize these health outcomes. That way there's a prevention of injuries. And with this, of course, comes the research and a development to improve it. There has to be continuous improvement and the research to refine the training methods. So to equipment based on going with the findings from the Mars analogous environments on Earth. This involves adjusting the radius of the running track, possibly with adjusting on the sides or on the unloading system to better simulate Earth-like gravity under Martian conditions. And this would integrate health management. So this physical training regimen with other health management strategies, including nutrition, mental health, and rest to provide more of a holistic approach to astronaut health on Mars. This would provide an effective countermeasure against, again, those effects of reduced gravity on Mars, ensuring astronauts maintain strong physical health during these missions, especially returning back to Earth. Here on the side, so the intervals come out for sections of checking out, uh, especially for surgery or for emergency room. This concept is called the Swiss Army knife concept. So as you can see here on the slide on the top left, this is one of the videos from Fair Companies. I used to watch this channel many years ago, but I thought it was very interesting if we could, or it could be applied the way there's maximum um, usage of the space. So the walls could come out once the exercises are done, or for really quick or fast emergencies, we can just pop and then the materials and furnitures come out. So for visualization purposes, I did include also a furniture origami set in the middle right, how the furnitures or parts could come out and could fall the way we maximize the space as much as possible. Uh, And I do have here some examples. So these videos are from faircompanies.com. This is by Kristen Dirksen, and there's many videos showcasing how many people have these such small confined apartments, called tiny apartments, and then on the bottom of the screen, that's how they can just come out from the sides and roll out. So all the maximization of the space can be utilized since it's such a confined part. So the main compartments would fold and unfold like origami. And yeah, I think this could be like an innovative concept. This would be the floor two. So it would have a small kitchen, dining room, and for this nutrition, the kitchen allows more, of course, for preparation for healthy balances. The ideal balanced meals is sold for astronaut health. This is to maintain a proper nutrition for immune health. There's the social interaction aspect. The meals are a communal activity to have it more of a community feel, boosting morale, fostering framework. There's the toilet there on the side. Sanitation is extremely important. And there's a concept here that Duravid has designed, a Martian toilet. So this would be intended for future Mars habitats, hopefully, if it's provided, which was installed by the Martian House prototype in Bristol, UK. So the toilet would be leveraging the Mars's gravity to simplify the design compared to the suction systems required in zero gravity environments. It is engineered to use minimal water, recycle wastewater, and convert urine into fertilizer, emphasizing efficiency, sustainability. And again, going back to the previous slide with the origami, it's like trying to use as much as possible with less. So additional comfort features with that toilet include a heated seat, like illuminated bulb for night use, hygiene focused design such as odor extraction system, which windows cannot be opened on Mars. These features illustrate throughout a blend of particularly partic practically and comfort. And there's another one in that same floor, the vertical garden with plants, meals, so fresh food supply, growing plants, and the psychological benefit of interacting with plant life. That definitely does have psychological well-being and feelings of confinement and isolation. So regarding that, with the plant vertical garden, so a recent study by Rebecca von Glass, she's an astrobiologist at Washington University, Maya technique, it's called, of intercropping for growing vegetables on Mars. So this method involves planting different types of plants closely together to optimize crop yield under Martian conditions. So experiments conducted in this simulated Martian soil show that certain plants possibly could, like tomato, benefit significantly from being intercropped with other species, such as carrots, peas, improve nutrition uptake and overall yield. The research here on the Earth for now for potential Mars settlements, but also offers insights for future Earth's agriculture amid climate change when placed on the Mars soil to see how it reacts. That was provided by the Smithsonian magazine. On the same floor would be the 3D printing. So the 3D printing would be more for resource efficiency, for critical on-demand manufacturing tools of medical tools, replacing parts, possibly even pharmaceuticals, reducing dependency for supply machines from Earth, and the customization and rapid response. So this would enable quick customization and fabrication of specific items needed for medical care, trying to make sure there's no delays or minimizing delay. This one would be the third floor. This was also created with Dali, and this is more of a artistic representation for also the feel and concept. of the areas. So it's not exactly to scale, but the image presents more of a futuristic dirt floor layout for a space habitat, featuring just like from the first floor with the converted walls running into having the origami-like inspired furniture and parts coming out. So this design includes the modular and transformable beds, a virtual reality section, minimalistic furnishings, and this is all again to optimize for space efficiency, comfort within Mars habitat environment. So the beds, dorms, rear section will be in proximity. So the same concept of the origami can or try to be applied, but again, also the space efficiency of the parts coming out of the walls, and also having much of the walls being kind of transparent. Um, that's something to really think about, which could be more usage because of the health of the psychological well-being of the astronauts, trying to not feel so confined, but then again, trying to maximize the space. Um, Ideally, there has to be like a balance between those two. So the dormitory with beds for astronauts. There was research from NASA on the sleep and human factors in confined environments. NASA emphasized the importance of creating a sleep environment that promotes undisrupted sleep times. This includes the minimization of noise, the controlling of light exposure, and maintaining an temperature and humidity level that's optimal. The beds should be isolated enough to reduce disturbances, yet in such confined spaces, that's where the real art lies about the origami-like structure. There has to be a management of the circadian rhythm. So according to NASA, also the management of circadian rhythm is extremely important, and there has been studies that it is true. The dormitory should utilize again the light systems that can simulate natural light patterns, mimicking Earth's day and night to help maintain the astronauts' circadian rhythms. This could involve lighting that changes throughout the day to help astronauts stay aligned with their natural sleep cycles. This personal space and privacy is also very important, having those types of boundaries, maintaining personal space and privacy. The dormitory design should ensure that each astronaut has a personal area that they can customize and have a sense of control. So this is about managing stress and providing a sense of normalcy, and again also a control or a sense of control over the environment. So this all goes down to the sleep and wake scheduling. So advised also by NASA, the sleep schedule should be strictly maintained to manage sleep quality and quantity. The habitat should have protocols to ensure that sleep and wake times are consistent and synchronized with work schedules to maximize alertness and performance. So this was provided by NASA. Here would be the applied tech. So there would be advanced diagnostic tools. Again, starting back with NASA research, currently medical diagnostic devices are broad ISS that are compact, robust, and suitable for evaluating an astronaut's physical condition under microgravity conditions. These tools could be adapted for Mars conditions where similar challenges exist. So on the image on the bottom right, technologies such as the R Health Analyzer, which have been tested abroad the ISS, can be important for this. So this device allows for multiple diagnostic tests using drug blood, providing quick and efficient health assessments. There's the telemedicine capabilities. So this would employ cloud-based programs to monitor astronaut health using both off-the-shelf and custom-developed health and fitness monitoring devices. These systems will be very important metrics and provide real-time analytics, which can be essential for remote consultations and monitoring on Mars. So the integration of AI in these systems too would be a big help with diagnosing and potentially predicting medical issues. This is, of course, to conserve as much time as possible with the limited time on the missions. The collection of the health data would also be valuable for maintaining astronaut health. There's the portable health monitoring devices. So this image is on the top right. This is a wearable biometric sensor, also developed by NASA. This would track vital signs and can detect stress levels through indicators such as the heart variability, which this is extremely essential. These devices have evolved from space missions to consumer products, so the monitoring health metrics would be very important for the astronaut welfare in space. And yeah, this implementation of these wearable technologies ensures continuous monitoring. Again, there's a consistent theme that there's continuous monitoring to make sure the health of all the astronauts are in good health. This would also provide early warning signs like stress and other related issues that can affect the isolated environment, especially the mental health throughout. And the image on the left, advanced 3D printing. So this particular one, this is created by Berkeley, or at least Berkeley is pioneering the methods in additive manufacturing using computed axial lithography and the focusing on printing biomaterials like human tissues, engineering components. This technology, tested in suborbital flights as of now, aims to enhance the capability. So something like this or something very similar could be implemented for Mars to produce complex structures supporting both medical and engineering needs. Here, so possible resources to generate or transport it from Earth. So this image was also created by Dali. This is more to give like an artistic impression. The on-site production of pharmaceutical using biometric technology. So NASA's experiments in bioprinting abroad, the ISS also demonstrates potential for on-site production of human tissues and organ patches using bioprinted structures. This technology can be adapted, or at least we aim to adapt it for the Mars habitat. This technology can be for some pharmaceutical production, allowing for the creation of biologically based medicines, therapeutic tissues too. The utilization of local Martian materials for constructing expandable habitat modules. So NASA's research into using in situ resources can be leveraged to utilize Martian soil and minerals in building materials. Techniques developed for processing and utilizing local extraterrestrial materials can help in constructing efficient expandable habitat modules on Mars. The transportation of critical supplies, so the logistics of this, including vaccines and specialized equipment. The ongoing missions of resupply efforts from the ISS, such as those created for now by SpaceX, highlight the importance of the transportation for critical supplies that cannot be produced for now, obviously for now, yet on Mars. Ideally, it would be better if it was produced that way to save on the logistics, but these supplies include specialized medical equipment like vaccines for the long duration of the health mission. And here, so this is the organizational structure of the Mars Center. This is one variation. So would be a small core team comprising of a scientist, two doctors, and a facility chief. And I try not to make the hierarchy so rigid. So everyone is basically almost on the same playing field and would have divided the responsibilities equally. So everyone has like an equal footing in here. But of course, the main one would be the facility chief, but all almost on an equal playing field. Notice that the safety officer is on top. So safety is always a priority and always a number one feature, especially here on health. Again, with the running theme of having the health monitoring being always at all times. This is an alternative structure of the Mars facility answer. So the facility chief on the left, see, expanding, and on top again with the safety officer always on the top as the most important, but everyone has the footings, the medical chief officer, medical officer underneath him, but would be um, more of an assistant to him or her. Then we have the chief scientist. So the exact types here with the leadership, the facility chief. So this individual would have a strong background in space operations due to their extensive experience in managing space missions. Ideally, this role would oversee all facilities operations, coordination with SpaceX if they're still available or around, for logistical support, and also with even Space Force for security and compliance. The medical division, so this would be the medical officer and medical officer, oh, and the chief medical officer, sorry. One of the two doctors designated as the lead medical professional, so responsible for overall health, well-being of the personnel. This would manage all clinical services and medical responses strategies. So this is directly reported by the facility chief. Then the medical officer, the second doctor supporting in medical operations, patient care, health monitoring. This role involves hands-on medical examinations, treatment, emergency medical responses. Notice that both doctors are trained in surgery. The research and science, so that's the chief scientist, role specifically filled by a scientist focusing on the research initiatives. This includes the biotechnology research, pharmaceutical studies using bioprinting technologies, and this would be in collaboration, of course, with NASA and SpaceX for integration of innovative technologies and scientific advancements. The support and coordination, so not a part of the initial team structure as mentioned here, but this role would be essential, possibly it could be overseen by the facility chief or the chief scientist, involving the supply chain and equipment and shipment for medical supplies. So in coordination with SpaceX. And last but not least, of course, I think this is one of the most important, always would be one of the most important or important one, the safety officer. This role potentially is filled by the facility chief or external Space Force officer, would focus on ensuring the facility complies with all safety regulations, emergency preparedness, safety protocols. This image too is created with DALI, more to give an artistic impression. And this is also what I was speaking about in the earlier slides, giving it more of a feel for a less confined space, but the seeing of the outside. So the space looks a lot bigger than what it is, or wider, not to feel so confined. So the training astronaut program, the first one would be handling medical emergencies independently. So NASA's approach also from their research involves the intensive training of astronauts to handle medical emergencies with limited resources. This training includes both theoretical knowledge and practical exercises like cardiopulmonary resuscitation and the use of medical kits designed for space. These practices ensure astronauts can respond effectively to potential life-threatening situations when isolated. The regular physical and mental health checks. NASA emphasizes the importance of routine health monitoring. So again, very stressed on this point, the routine health checks and monitoring. This includes the psychological and mental health, and especially the mission safety. The regular checkups supported by medical experts through telemedicine. So we can mainstream it, the telemedicine through Earth to have special psychologists or psychiatrists for expert care during these long duration missions, and the simulation of possible medical scenarios on Mars. The simulated medical scenarios are extremely important for the trainings to prepare astronauts for the unique challenges because of the gravitational environment like Mars. These simulations are conducted using high fidelity environments that mimic the conditions astronauts will face, including the use of virtual reality and specialized simulators. YouTube videos to train astronauts. So the first one would be basic operations training. And this would be called the Space Station Basics, Orientation and Mobility. This video would cover the basics of orientation and mobility on a space station, similar to the ISS training modules explaining how to navigate and manage daily tasks in a microgravity environment. Then the technical training for specific infrastructure. The video would be called Advanced Life Support Systems on Mars. So this would detail tutorial and operation on troubleshooting life support systems that are very critical for sustaining life on Mars, including air filtration, water recycling systems. The third is about medical emergency handling. The video would be called Emergency Medical Procedures for Astronauts. So these are training videos from aerospace medical associations that instruct on how to handle common medical emergencies in space, such as CPR, wound care, dealing with radiation exposure. The fourth would be repair maintenance operations, and the video title would be Repairing and Maintaining Mars Habitat Infrastructure. So this would be ideally a step-by-step guide on the maintenance of habitat structures, including fixing breaches, repairing electrical systems, and maintaining habitat integrity. The fifth would be scientific experiments management. So the title would be Conducting Scientific Research on Mars. And this would go into instructions on setting up and conducting various scientific experiments that are likely to be part of the Mars mission objectives, such as the geological surveys and biological studies, and the use of robotics and automation. So the video would be called Robotics in Space, Applications and Operations. This would be the exploration of robotics in space. So the focus on operational training for remotely operated vehicles and automatic systems for critical exploration in Mars. Last but not least, psychological resilience training. So this would be called Maintaining Health, Mental Health on Long Duration Space Missions. So this would be on psychological resilience, including stress management, the coping strategies, and maintaining health, especially in these isolated environments. These videos will be selected and possibly customized and updated frequently. This is to ensure the applicability and continuous improvement of it. So this would also include simulations and real life scenarios to provide more of a practical training instead of just base theory. Here, the research necessary for 1 week. So the food requirements, planning for food and water needs, considering the consumption rates and storage capabilities. So this is all about, again, safety and nutrition. The guidelines here that NASA provides, well, at least I try to adapt. So each astronaut would typically consume about 2.5 kilograms of food per day. This includes balanced diet to sustain health under the stresses of space conditions over a period of 5 days. This amount would be roughly 2.5 kilograms per person. Then there would be the water requirements. The daily water intake per astronaut would be around 2.38 kilograms of drinking and food preparation. Hopefully my calculations are more uh, all done right. With additional amounts of other uses like washing for 5 days, this could mean roughly 11.9 kilograms per person just for the drinking and food preparation. So the basic meal cycles, these would be for nutrition, safety, and of course, palatable, but that would be ideal. But first would come the nutritious and safety. The This stability would ensure the duration of the mission without degrading. So basic meals might include a variety of packaged and possibly rehydratable foods, which are tested for long-term space missions. These could range from standard protein sources like meats, legumes, fruits, vegetables, or dry package forms. Ideally, also would be or could be grown into the Mars um, garden, as explained first, from previous missions as they grow. For long duration missions, NASA suggests and also explore sustainable methods like the hydroponic and aeroponic systems to grow food on board, which could be adapted for hopefully Mars habitats. These systems help in recycling water and nutrients and could support fresh produce growth, enhancing the dietary and nutrition lines. So the guidance to provide other facilities and complete station. The regular updates on health protocols and new medical findings. Establishing here the centralized communication hub within the health sensor is to disseminate updated health protocols and recent medical findings, the implementation of regular virtual meetings and briefings to ensure all station personnel are informed of the latest health standards and practices, coordination of protocols for medical emergencies affecting multiple inhabitants. So this portion is to develop and maintain a detailed emergency response plan that includes roles and responsibilities, communication protocols, rapid response strategies, leveraging the NASA standards, crew health and safety. Of course, this is having the continuous improvement line in framework in detail here. Training all station personnel in emergency procedures. So this includes drills that simulate scenarios involving multiple crew members, ensuring readiness and efficiency, and the sharing of medical resources and research data between facilities. So this is very important, the open communication. The shared digital database accessible to all relevant station facilities, which includes medical resources, data, research of the data, and operational health metrics. Again, the same theme running by with the health metrics, monetization, facilitate facilitate collaborative platform for interfacility discussions, especially in the health management, where experiences and insights can be exchanged for that continuous improvement again. So this image was by Yash Rathod. The specific protocols and routines of the facility. So the daily health monitoring routines for astronauts. This is also adapted from NASA's biometric monitoring. So integrating daily vital checks, psychological assessments, fitness evaluations using advanced biometric sensors. This is also to employ health tracking technologies similar to NASA's health monitoring smartwatches, as we saw in the previous slides, the first ones, which provide real-time data on astronaut health metrics. The third one, regular maintenance schedules for medical equipment and technology systems. Again, following NASA's protocols for regular maintenance and calibration with medical equipment as tested abroad the ISS. So this is to ensure, again, routine checks, diagnostic tests are conducted to maintain all systems function well and efficient in this environment. And the third, procedures for medical waste handling sanitation. So this is to implement waste management systems, also based on NASA's research. This is more for sustainability, waste disposal techniques. These systems are specifically designed to prevent contamination and have more of an efficiency of the management of the waste products. So this is, of course, suitable for the closed loop constraints of a space habitat. This is also based and inspired by the systems engineering or systems thinking mindframe. The protocols of safety. So the emergency response protocols for medical crisis. This is also incorporating heavily on the NASA's comprehensive emergency procedures, which of course, safety will always be number one, and it should be. These are designed to handle both accidents and potential outbreaks of infectious diseases. This would involve specific steps for containment, treatment, reporting, and ensuring a swift, organized response to any medical emergency or crisis. But the second is safety checks for medical equipment and personal protective equipment usage guidelines. So this is also following NASA's safety check routines for medical equipment. This is to ensure that everything is functioning as expected without risks to the crew, including the regular calibration, maintenance, and verification against safety checks standards, similar to procedures used, again, from the ISS, International Space Station, and the fire safety and radiation shielding protocols, the third one. So this is implementing advanced fire safety and radiation shielding protocols. This is, for now, what we have in research with NASA in collaboration with SpaceX. This includes the use of materials designed, tested for their efficiency in protecting against fire hazards, radiation within spacecraft and space habitats. This would cover both active and passive protection measures to enhance safety in medical labs and storage areas. Of course, all of this is to keep in mind again, safety is number one in operational integrity. So the protocols for occupancy and entertainment, of course, this is created with DALI as an artistic representation for the feel of the communal and celebrating the diversity that we have on the base. And to remind us that there's so much diversity and there's so much culture and Earth that we want to bring and remind us when we're in such isolated and far away home from family and friends. So the guidelines for personal and communal spaces. So this is to implement space design principles from NASA again. So this is focusing the maximization use of limited space. This is to promote the, again, psychological health and social interaction. This would include some type of modular and reconfigurable spaces that can serve multiple purposes, from relaxation to social gatherings, also ensuring good privacy in personal quarters. This is to provide a psychological well-being and creating correct and well-meaning boundaries, using smart materials to design a sense of personal space. The other one would be activities and resources for recreational and leisure time. So this would be one of the NASA recommended activities designed to prevent the isolation and depression, such as the virtual reality experiences to simulate different environments. So the environment is not always monotone or the same. This would just to create more hobbies and interests too in that same confined space. There could be regular movie nights, communal games, virtual meetups with people on Earth to maintain a connection again with the home planet and foster this community spirit that we're all connected somehow. And the regular social events and team building exercises. I think this is very important with the team building exercises because all this is interdependent on one-on-one. So planning regular social events, team building exercises that are crucial for maintaining morale and cooperative work environment. So this is also inspired by the NASA's team strategies used in long duration missions. Activities are about include problem solving challenges, could be also group fitness sessions and cultural nights to celebrate the diversity of the crew and life in general that we have here on Earth. So the protocols for food micro production. The left image was also more of an artistic rendition that I created with Dolly to give it like a feel and that vertical integration with this concept of the Mayan technique of intercropping. So the intercropping implementation with the concept that we spoke earlier before in the previous slides. This is the utilization of the Maya techniques to plant the various crops closely to maximize space usage, enhancing yields of improving nutrient uptake, and also reducing possibly pests, but it's still in the works with the research. So the species collection, choosing plant species like tomato, carrots, peas. Proven These were proven to thrive and provide significant yield improvements when intercropped in Martian-like soil conditions. The scheduling and arrangement, so to develop tailored planting schedules and spatial arrangements. This is for the optimal light, water, and nutrient distribution without competition from each of the species. Monitoring, of course, it has to be monitored often. This is for the plant growth and health. The adjustment strategies to maintain the intercropping performance under these Martian conditions, and the ongoing research. So the research and refining intercropping methods. This is to sustain the sustainability and gather insights that can be also beneficial for Earth. So the benefits of the Mayan vertical integration would be the oxygen production. This would increase the oxygen levels through intensified the photosynthesis in confined spaces, improving the air quality. So the natural air purifiers would be to absorb and degrade airborne contaminants, which is extremely important for very closed confined spaces. The humidity regulations, this is a big one too. Ideal humidity level through time transpiration, essential for the health and electronic safety. The carbon dioxide management, ideally to enhance the CO2 removal of the dense planting for the air revitalization. And very important concept, the psychological advantages. This is also to boost the mental health through visual and environmental connection to nature. So having this kind of artistic orientation with the greenery kind of helps mitigate the stress and with the confined effects. The image on the right was provided by Smithsonian Magazine. Protocols for 3D printing. So the material utilization with the biodegradable plastics and Martian minerals. So implementing protocols for the use of biodegradable plastics or Martian source minerals to print medical tools and emergency supplies. This approach leverages the local resources, reducing dependence on supply chains when it comes to the earth-based logistics, the sterilization and reuse. So the medical application protocols. This is to establish the strict sterilization protocols for 3D printing items used in medical settings. This is for it to meet the health and safety standards, including the guidelines for the safe reuse of materials to maximize resource efficiency. The third, custom medical supports. So this is to develop protocols for creating custom fit medical supporting braces using 3D printing technology tailored to individual astronauts because of all astronauts have different anatomical needs. This ensures optimal comfort and effectiveness in treating or preventing musculoskeletal tissues. Ideally, like one of the first slides provided, this would be like provide integrated with that Berkeley additive manufacturing technology or a technology very similar like what they're creating at Berkeley. So this is the advanced additive manufacturing method and integrate the computed axial lithography techniques developed by Berkeley, focusing on the printing complex biomaterials like human tissues, engineering components. This technology, which has been tested in the suborbital flights, could produce an intricate structure that support both medical and engineering applications in Mars. And this technology could also enhance the capability of the Mars habitat to produce in such confined spaces the complex and functional structures required for ongoing operations and healthcare. That way, there's less logistics between going back and forth, and a broader infrastructure needs for the settlement to simplify the medical usage when it comes to the 3D printing. This image here, I really like it a lot. It's created by Dali. Um, So the telemedicine techniques for remote care would be one of them here with the technologies and outputs that could be applied to Earth. Telemedicine techniques refined on Mars with such a distance and levels of variation with the microgravity and confinement can provide comprehensive care in isolated environments, significantly improving medical services in rural and undeserved regions on Earth. These techniques include remote diagnostics, virtual consultations, and the use of AI to manage patient data and treatment plans efficiently. So this is more about the data analytics and psychological benefits. The compact and efficient medical equipment, emergency response innovations. So medical equipment developed here for the constrained environments from Mars, known for its compactness and efficiency, could revolutionize emergency medical responses worldwide, such as the equipment designed for quick deployment and reliability under stress, such as disaster zones and mobile healthcare facilities. These sustainable healthcare practices and waste reduction, so the practices and protocols developed here, such as the waste reduction and recycling systems, can be adapted for Earth medical facilities. These innovations not only reduce the environment footprint of healthcare operations, but also promote efficiency and cost effectiveness. The enhanced air and water purification systems. So the life support technologies developed for air and water purification on Mars have hopefully good application here on Earth, particularly with the air quality in a lot of urban settings and providing clean water in areas with limited resources, such as very poverty-driven areas. The psychological health strategies. This is very important, and I think this would be the main source of these benefits. So the psychological support systems designed for isolation and stress on Mars missions. This also is uh, most likely will be adapted to support the mental health in various Earth environments, incorporating remote settings and enhancing the overall well-being and productivity. Um, uh, so the guidelines to be applied here on daily Earth, and this is one of the most, for now, famous images. This was created by Diane Ballard, beautiful image. So the psychological health maintenance techniques would be one of them, from isolation to application. So incorporating the mental health strategies developed for astronauts during extended isolation periods. These techniques include regular social interaction through digital means, structured daily routines, mindfulness exercises. This is very important with the mindfulness exercises, which also personalized mental health monitoring can be adapted to improve mental health strategies for individuals in remote or isolated environments, such as, for example, if there's another crisis like the COVID, the fitness routines for confined spaces like urban fitness solutions, adapting the fitness routines designed for the confined spaces of a spacecraft to urban environments where access to large recreational spaces is limited. These routines utilize minimal equipment and space to provide effective full body weight workouts, promoting physical health in a very densely populated area. There's the water and resource conservation method. Applying water and resource conservation method perfected in the close environments of space missions, ideally would promote sustainable living on Earth, such as water recycling, precise research management, zero waste systems can inform policies and practices in water scarce regions, contributing to more of a global sustainability effort. The energy efficiency and renewable integration, so the energy solutions from Mars to Earth, leveraging these energy management techniques used in these habitats in Mars, such as maximizing the solar energy efficiency, integrating renewable power solutions to enhance energy conservation and usage in terrestrial settings, especially for the off-grid and rural areas. And the last one, the advanced agricultural techniques, so the space farming to urban agriculture. This is to transform advanced agricultural techniques such as the before mentioned hydroponics and aeroponics used in space farming to urban environments with limited space resources, enhancing local food security and reducing the carbon footprint associated with traditional farming. And so the impacts to sustainable developmental goals, the three top ones would be promoting good health and well-being. So this is space technology and and the fostering innovation and infrastructure is the third one. Innovations driven by the extremes requirements of space missions, such as robust medical technologies and sustainable habitat designs. This can catalyze advanced advancement in similar Earth-based infrastructures, which is more for sustainability, reliability, and adaptability. And the last ones here are all the references used on each slide. So you can contact me here on LinkedIn and also my email. And I want to thank everybody for listening in.